Hello and welcome to this episode of Just Make Game.
But the most important thing today is to acknowledge that with 0 cases and so much testing over the weekend, not just in the north, but across the whole state, we are able to say that now is the time to open up. Now is the time to congratulate every single Victorian for staying the course. Now is the time to thank every single Victorian family for being guided by the data, the science and the doctors.
Welcome to another episode of Just Make Game. My name is Michael and today I'm going to tell you all about the games. So, this month I've been working on putting all those enemies in the game that I talked about last month. So I think they're all in, or they're mostly in now. So there's things, actually I'll just show you, it's easier. There's fellas like there's the Pied. Oh, he blew up instantly. Let me just kill this guy. Let's see if we can find another Pied, perhaps. There's the Rat Boy. Hey, Rat Boy. Oi. There you go. So he fires rifle shots at you from a distance, tries to run away when you get close enough. It's very naughty. What do you call him? Templeton.
Templeton.
Templeton. There you go. So that's Templeton. He's in. He's quite irritating, actually, because he's the only way to really dodge his shots is to run laterally. He doesn't lead you. I did originally have him lead his shots, and that was shit. Because it made you had to sort of dance around to dodge him, and I didn't want him to be that difficult. I was just going to go. Let's see if I can. Oh, there's a fish guy. I think he was in last month, I believe. Look. Get out of here. Nope. More Rat Boy. Healer. It's been there for a while. It's much more rifle. Fish Boy. Oh, there's a Pied! Pied! He set the fish on fire, so there you go. So he runs at you erratically and then jumps and blows up just like he should. He's working great. All these enemies are all working great. They're interacting well with each other. They're not all going to be in this level. I've just whacked them all in here rather than... I want to get all the different enemies in and then start putting the different levels together after that. That's just the way I went around it. So they're all just crammed into this level this level style that we've had for ages, because it just cause. So it's kind of weird. You got fish dudes with rat dudes and jumping mechanical spider things all within the same bit. But hey, even then, it still works pretty well all together. So I don't mind it, I must admit. I'm going to see if I can find something else I've been working on as well. So, another thing I've been working on, there's a great example of it. I just whacked this in the other day. Lighting! Yay! Which just helps the levels from being as flat as they were. So, previously everything was just like this, where it had this little bit of sort of shadowing and colour going on throughout it in an effort to stop it being so flat, but then the lighting really helps it pop now as well. So there's a couple of examples of things that Haley has made recently.
Yeah. Is the lighting easy to put in?
Yeah. So I did it. I've done a sort of a modular lighting system for it, which interacts with this other layer that's on here. So basically, it kind of draws on that layer, and then that's already set up to interact with how shading works. So you can see there's like colours coming through here. It works on that layer, which plays with like a sort of like a cloud layer that's over the top of it, which is like a fog. It actually, yeah, it works in with those layers. And the way I've done it is I've done it in a a modular fashion so that if I want to change the colour or the size of the lights, because we do have things that will be, you know, green and blue and all that sort of stuff, that is super easy to just change the RGB values and just be like, it's 255 blue, 00, and then it's just going to be a blue light. And, you know, I can go, I want the radius to be this many pixels across, and
Oh, that's cool.
easy as that. Yeah, it's good. It has very little performance impact at all. In fact, nothing more than those layers already have on it, because it is just like drawing to that same layer and just changing colours on it and that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's great, because then I can start scattering lights everywhere, and we can start getting a really good sort of, yeah, really interesting visual effects going, especially when there's multiple lights in the same area like this, and it starts really blooming out. That many dudes going on, that sort of thing. That gives you a good idea of what it'll eventually all sort of look like. Oh my god! It's a firing squad. There you are, there's a bunch of new enemies altogether. Yeah, so that's new. That's pretty cool. I've been meaning to do this for a while, but it's been kind of low priority, really, compared to some of the other things. But it's been annoying me how not pretty the game has been looking when I've been wanting lighting and coloured lights and things in there for a while. So I've got, yeah, at the moment they're all just the yellow lights, like lanterns and lamps and things like that. We've got other ones to chuck in, so I will chuck those in shortly, and we'll see what coloured lights look like. In fact, I might even not bother with the actual models, and I'm just going to change some numbers, and I'm just going to play around and see what coloured lights will look like, because I think it'll look cool, so I'll be back in a bit.
Hello, welcome to today, where I show you the things that I've been doing. I started out this month by working on the lighting for each of our, well, most of our levels. Mike has already put something in game, so I've already found one that looks shit. Awesome.
Yes.
Let's show you the one that doesn't work. No, this one. So this one looks terrible in game, which is good. It's important to chuck it in and see what looks awful. But we've just got some like little hurricane lantern things. Stone lantern, I quite like that one.
Yeah, that one looks good in game, actually. They all look good, with the exception of like the torch. Yeah.
Then different big brazier kind of things.
They will look good because, yeah, that smoke as well is going to be on a separate layer, and that's going to look great.
I don't know if I talked about this already. I pinched the fire animation from like an animation that Mike had already done. Yeah, so it's always nice when you can reuse.
Is that from the, like, when you're on fire as a player or something?
Yeah. When like a player or an enemy catches on fire, yeah, I just pinched that animation and like tweaked it a little bit, but it's nice. You don't have to sit there and redo things over and over again.
Also means that all our fire will look the same, which is kind of nice.
Cohesive fire.
Ah.
I've got some other objects that are going to be emitting light in levels.
Yeah, these are
So some sweet kind of like fungi and crystals. And Mike is going to do some magic on these to make them glow.
Yeah, I'll make them pulse and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to look really good, actually. Bit of colour.
Yes, yeah. Nice coloured lighting. Alright, the other thing I have been doing is objects for the sand level. So, I think again last month I said, oh, I'm going to start doing the objects because we've actually got the sand level tiles locked in. It's really nice when you can do a little mock-up. So I've done a little mock-up here, chuck stuff in and make sure the colours are right. So, we've got some skulls and teeth and bigger skulls and rocks, some archways that I've just started to play with. So I've chucked them in just to make sure the perspective looks alright. Like, this one looking a little bit small. Something I like to do actually when I am making objects, so you can see on this here, I always put one of our character sprites at the start of the line that I'm working on, so it's just all the way down. What that does is it just helps give me a bit of an idea for scale. So I want some really giant skulls. So, I don't know, it just helps me get a bit of an idea of the player running around these things and a bit of a sense of scale.
I always did the same thing with like Bannerman as well. You'll notice that like if you look through the old Just Make Game videos, the player is everywhere all over my sprite sheets.
Yeah, that's really helpful. Because otherwise you just like, wait, how many pixels are these squares?
Yeah,
like you forget. With this level, so something that's a little bit different that I'm going to be doing with all the objects on this level is you can see I've got a layer for the sand, so I can turn these layers on and off. So because this level is like, it's made of sand, like things are kind of going to be half buried, so that's something that I need to add onto the objects here as well. So you can see I've started doing it with some of the rocks, but I still have to go through and do that on them. Yeah, playing with colours here to work out what's going to work and what's not. And that's where I'm at.
It's a good looking level, the sand level.
Yeah,
I reckon it'll have to be the next one that I pop in, to be honest, because I'm about up to putting in another level, so...
Yes, yeah, I'm really excited about the sand level and how that looks.
I like its big open empty spaces and stuff, so...
There's our mock-up that I...
Actually get half a shot of that.
It's not done particularly well, this mock-up. I just kind of chucked a few things in.
Yeah.
You can see all the edges are kind of missing around
Well,
here.
you can sort of see it on the left how it actually does come out like that. Extra tiles. Over here is just slapping it in to see what it looks like.
Yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Looks good.
That's about it.
Alright. Yeah. Hey! Let's see how this comes out. I just made the RGB values random for the lights that we've currently got. Just to see if it works as it should and if it looks okay. And sort of the things that will be possible with different coloured lights and how they'll interact with each other and stuff. I must admit, at the moment the lights don't always generate in the right spot. So we do have... they can generate over the top of other objects and things like that because I don't check. Oh yeah, you got like a purpley light and I think a reddy sort of tone up there. That was distinctly blue. Quite dim. Because these are RGB values, if they're darker, like they're sort of close to black, they just won't be as bright. Due to the way they draw on, so you can't, you can't have like a black light. So yeah, it'll just be dim. So these are obviously just almost black, so they don't draw nothing. So maybe I should make it that they draw... I don't know. There's green. That's got something going on. These rats are actually weird. White, that's a nice red in there.
Yeah.
Oh, just... yeah. I didn't even notice it. So yeah, that gives an idea. Oh, there's a nice green over there too. Yeah. So we had to do coloured lights everywhere. Perhaps some enemies can even glow and emit light around them and things like that, because why not? It's basically, like, from a performance standpoint, it's free. So I might as well just go nuts with it. And, yeah. Lights look pretty cool.
This episode of Just Make Game presented in Batesy Vision.
Major funding for this episode of Just Make Game was provided by Vin Hill, Tyler Heil, Roman Kovalev, Philip Sparks, Norbert Kylan, Max Windsor, Jono, Jason Tom Lee, Ivan Makarovich, Evan N., Connor Bowen, Charlie Harper, Ben Kersnowski, Batesy, Alan Pask, and viewers like you.
Okay, well that's it for this month's episode of Just Make Game. We'll see you again next month. Stay safe and have a lovely time. Bye.